Your resume isn't a grocery list. It's a 5-star menu, but most students treat it like a pile of random ingredients. That's why most recruiters take one bite and push the plate away. Let me show you the 5 biggest recipe mistakes that ruin finance resumes and how to fix them so yours actually gets served. I'll be honest, my first resume was a disaster. It looked fine to me, neat sections, decent experience, but every bullet point was just a task that I completed. Managed spreadsheets, attended meetings, helped with events, and guess what? Rejection after rejection. It wasn't until I learned how to turn tasks into results and tell a story across my bullets that things started to click. Let's break down the 5 biggest mistakes I see students make. Want the proven layout that I used to land an internship at JP Morgan? Download our resume template in the description below, completely free. Mistake number 1 is what I keep mentioning, listing tasks instead of results. Recruiters don't pay you to do tasks. They pay you to create outcomes. You might be thinking, if I don't have impressive jobs, what am I supposed to put? I had a student who was part of a finance committee for a student-run organization, and his original bullet point read something like this: managed financial reporting and detailed records to track income and expenditures. We rewrote this to read, balance a $7,500 annual income and $6,000 annual expenditures to maintain a healthy margin of 13.3%. Same work, but now it shows impact with quantified results. The real tactic here is to use the action plus result framework from the STAR method, using numbers to quantify where possible. Start your bullet with a strong action verb, then show what changed because you did it. Mistake number 2 piggybacks off of number 1, and it's no numbers. If it can be counted, it should be. And honestly, I don't like rewriting my students' resumes with bullet points that don't have numbers to quantify their results. You might be thinking, what if my role doesn't involve big dollar signs? If you're really self-conscious about putting a smaller number on your resume, if anything, you can resort to percentages or fractions because those values will quantify the impact that you want them to without having to post embarrassingly low numbers, whatever that means. If you improved margins by 10% off of $100 versus $100,000, nobody will know what that difference is unless you provide that starting quantity. But 10% is still 10% either way. Another example I have from a student I worked with is writing a bullet point for their job at Subway. We wrote a bullet point to read, led a team of 7 to 10 employees during peak hours, tailoring staffing needs to team members' strengths and increasing order fulfillment speed by 20%. This number was ballparked and achieved just through a simple question and answer sequence. He was really proud of an achievement where he helped organize the staffing during peak hours, like we mentioned in the bullet point. And in order to quantify this, I asked, hey, how long did it take to make sandwiches originally? And after implementing your method, how long did it take then? And some simple math arrived us with the answer of his method was 20% more efficient. Numbers turn vague activity into measurable success. And recruiters love metrics because they prove scale. So quantify hours, people, percentages, not just money. Mistake number 3 is a buzzword soup. If your bullet point sounds like ChatGPT wrote it, recruiters will probably ignore it. You might be thinking, aren't words like team player or detail-oriented good to have on my resume? I see resumes full of words like results-driven, hard-working, strategic thinker, and none of those mean anything without proof. Instead of just saying you're detail-oriented, show it. Reconciled 500 plus transactions with 0 errors. Proof beats fluff. So the point to drive home here is that every buzzword should be replaced with a concrete action and outcome. Mistake number 4 is poor formatting. Your resume should look like a menu at a Michelin star restaurant. Clean, scannable, no clutter. And a lot of students think, does formatting even matter if the content itself is strong? The truth is, recruiters spend 6 to 10 seconds scanning a resume on average. If it's crammed with dense text and 8-point font, uneven spacing, and wacky margins, they'll toss it. When I switched to a clean 1-page structure, tight margins, consistent bullets, bold headlines, suddenly my resume looked professional before they even read it. It's well known that your resume should be 1 page, maximum, especially as an undergraduate student in college. Using consistent spacing, strong section headers, and bullet alignment will make it easy for recruiters to read. And by the way, keeping it to one page does not mean you should be cramming everything you can onto this page so recruiters can see the entire outline of your work history from when you were 14 years old. It means grouping experiences strategically, using the same formatting across sections, and also implementing white space to balance out your resume for the recruiter. You obviously want to use the real estate you're given on that single page, but it doesn't mean using 7 or 8 point font so that a recruiter has a wall of text to read through. And the fifth mistake that I see far too often is no story cohesion. Your resume isn't just a list, it's a tasting menu that should tell a story. You might be thinking, isn't it enough to just have good bullet points? I once helped a student who had great bullets, but their resume looked random. Some banking stuff, some food service, some club work. We reframed it so every bullet tied back to analytical skill and competence in finance. Suddenly, their brand was clear. The question you want to ask yourself is, if anyone just read your resume, would they know what role you're aiming for? To do that, align bullets, structure, and tone to your target job. Fixing these 5 mistakes will put your resume miles ahead of the competition. But if you want to see the exact process I use to turn task-based resumes into interview machines, check out this video next. Let's cook. I'll see you over there.